Hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is RJ. So you're probably wondering what the thumbnail is all about, why I'm saying now is a great time to be investing in crypto, or in fact Bitcoin particularly. Now the reason for that is a couple of things. You're gonna have to follow me on a bit of a journey, so here so sort of you might want to just, it's not going to be too long a video, I promise, but it is something that I really think that everybody should be looking at. I really do believe this. I really think that Bitcoin now is in a great position for everybody to really start looking at it as a serious option. Now obviously I do have to say I'm not a professional investor. I'm just, I don't work for any kind of investment company. I don't hold any qualifications in investing. I'm basically someone that just got into crypto and Bitcoin back in 2014 and have simply been following its journey and its market trends and how things have affected it along the line and to where it's at right now. So obviously many of you will know that Bitcoin is at pretty much one of its all-time highs. I think it's today, when I checked, it was about 84,000, maybe 86,000 back in November 2024. It did hit its all-time high of over 100,000. And now because of this, I'm sure many of you think to yourselves, well, that's, that is just as an investment out of reach for the everyday person. And yes, if you were looking to go out and buy and use your money from your bank and buy Bitcoin, yes, if you, and especially, if you were expecting to get a good amount for your money, I agree. For the average person, a cash investment into Bitcoin is pretty much out the window. But because of that, this is what makes it a great investment. And when it comes to you and me, I'm more talking about your time as opposed to your money. But like I say, bear with me and all will be explained. So back in 2017, December 2017, Bitcoin hit its first real all-time high, which was $20,000. And at this point, that is when the world basically stood up and took notice of Bitcoin. And before that, it basically been just people like me that spend a lot of time on the internet searching for possible online opportunities to make a bit of cash. And back, like I say, in 2014, that's when I got into it. Unfortunately, when Bitcoin first came about, I just didn't pick it up. And the reason for that was basically in 2009, I started seeing banners all over websites. Free Bitcoin here, get your free Bitcoin here, but I'd suffered a couple of losses due to some online scams. And at that point, I was a little jaded with the internet. So when I saw that, read what it was all about, I'm like, no way. I'm not interested. That is just a scam. And I'm sure many people thought the same thing back then. I've even heard people talk about Bitcoin being a scam, in the last five or so years. I've heard people talk about it, that, oh, it's all a scam, the whole thing's just a big scam, blah 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 kind of thing. But like I say, 2017 hits 20,000. Then what happens? World takes notice. Lots of people start jumping on it, thinking this is a quick way to make some money kind of thing. Speculative, what is classed as a speculative investor. So basically someone that may be new to investing, got some kind of a tip from their friend down the pub. Oh mate, you got to get in on this. So that, or even maybe some that did invest but had never invested in that kind of thing, like crypto or anything like that. So they were just dipping their toe into it, and they put money into it. So, and then obviously the price starts rising. And then comes early 2018, and I think by that time, I think beginning of 2018, it was 21,000, maybe on its way to 22,000. And I think a lot of these speculative investors, and this has actually been written about and proven, essentially started freaking out. Put it mildly, they started freaking out. And the thought is they're looking at numbers on the screen and they're seeing their investment go up. They're seeing how much they're getting in. And then it's that sudden thought. First, it's like, wow, and they're rubbing their hands thinking money, money, money. But then the sudden thought is, well, what happens if it starts going down? That's what then started striking fear into everybody's brain. What if it just starts dropping? And then what happened was a few people start selling because they're freaking out that it's going to fall. So they want to get their money before it does drop. So a few people sell, then a few more people sell, and then everybody sees that the price is dropping, and then it's just like an avalanche. It's just like an absolute avalanche. And by, I think it was like May, June time, 2018, Bitcoin was sitting, maybe even July, maybe May, June, July kind of area. Bitcoin was sitting at $3,000. So from this all-time high, it then absolutely plummeted. And it was essentially driven by fear, the fear of losing money by pretty much all the speculative investors that had got into it. And it was, and that's basically what happened. And then we had what is known as a crypto winter, and it was a long one. We would have small little spikes where it would go up and then it would just drop back down. So I think it dropped as low as 2,800 at one point. And then, and it kind of, you see signs of life and then it just dropped back down again. And this carried on for ages. Then it ended up in sort of like a bear market where it just wasn't doing anything. And then, but over time, gradually, it did start building. And basically, I think that initial sudden drop almost flushed out every, back, when it dropped to 3,000 in 2018, that pretty much flushed out most of the speculative investors because it was so dramatic. It was like nobody wanted to risk their money on it. Nobody did. But in the background, the traders, the investment companies, and then later on, as that price started building and building and building and building, you then started getting institutions coming in, picking up Bitcoin as essentially like a backstop or as to prop up their current portfolios. And all this sort of happened, and the speculative investors have never really come back. Those that created those massive highs and those massive lows and those swings. I mean, we know that crypto is volatile anyway. But now that it's sitting, like I say, it's about 86,000, was at 100,000, hung around 96 to 97,000 for quite a while actually. But now, because essentially the average person has been priced out of it, the people now that are essentially steering the ship, that are essentially gauging where Bitcoin goes, are the experienced investor, the large investment companies, and these institutions. And now, because of that, we essentially see this. We essentially see this when it comes to the price. So yes, from 96,000, it dropped down. I think it dropped as low as 60 odd thousand. and then within a couple of days it was back up to 80 odd thousand. Then it went up to 90 odd thousand, 90 or so, 93, 94,000 a few days ago. Then it dropped back down to 84,000. Now it's back up to 86,000. But you see what I mean? But it's not those absolutely killer, you know, like I mean, if it dropped now, similarly like it dropped in 2018, you would be looking at Bitcoin being around about $23,000. But we haven't. We've seen it drop 20,000, but then we've seen it gain 20,000 back. And then, you know, and then build a little bit more, then drop a little bit, then go up again. And that's sort of how it goes now. And the thing is people are saying that the bull market on Bitcoin is essentially slowing down. So what we could be looking at is a bear market coming, which means that the price normally is pretty much even more stable within a bear market. So it's, you know, it is just like a ripple rather than sort of like that what we're getting slight, you know, dips then like that, but we're not getting massive dips and massive highs. So, you know, but the thing is, if it does go to a full bear market and that price stabilizes, then one of the things that we could be looking at is the possibility of cloud mining being a good option once again. Now, I'm not talking about virtual cloud mining like sites like DualMine or anything like that. I'm talking about legit, proper cloud mining. So things like Hashing24, which basically you rent the machines and then you get paid according to how much they earn. But the thing is, with cloud mining or legit cloud mining, even if the price goes up, if it goes up too much, that can affect your contract in a negative way. And if it goes down too much, that also affects your contract in a negative way. What you want when you're cloud mining is the price to stay pretty close to when you actually bought that contract. And then you will get back. If it goes up a little, it's fine. If it goes up a lot, like I say, it's detrimental to your contract. But like I say, what you're looking for is it to be relatively stable to the price that when you purchase that contract, and then you'll get back the percentage that contract told you would. Now, you're probably thinking, but then how does that help us as an average person that can't go out and just buy Bitcoin? Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because obviously on my site, and obviously most of you know this, my amazing community that you guys have stood by me and supported me for so long, I promote sites where you can where you can earn crypto for free. Yes, you have to put the work in, you will have to put time into it, you will have to be patient. And no, these sites are not going to make you a millionaire overnight. And any site that tells you they are is probably a scam. So, but I promote numerous sites where you can earn Bitcoin for free by simply doing basic tasks and stuff like that. And what then is, if you start building that up, you see, you start putting time into that, you start building up that crypto. And the thing is even if the site you're using doesn't actually, you can't get Bitcoin, or it's easier to get a different coin, all you've got to do is then open up a free account from Faucet Pay, a free wallet at Faucet Pay. And in there, you'll be able to exchange your coins for a very, very small fee. And if you want to, you can exchange all your coins into Bitcoin. And then obviously, you know, that then will help you build that Bitcoin portfolio. Now, obviously, you know, this is not just me trying to promote my programs. This is not me trying to say, come subscribe to my channel. But if you do want to subscribe, it would be absolutely brilliant. And obviously you will get all my latest content, any new programs I develop, I sort of work on and promote to you guys. That'll all be there if you subscribe and put on those notifications. But the reason why I am sharing this with you today and trying to explain to you why now is a great time to get into this. Let's flick over here and we put this up. Now this is a Bitcoin price prediction chart that I put in the last video I did. I think it was the last video I did. It might have been the last but one video I did in 2024. And as you can see there at the top, it says year 2024, minimum price 84,000. Yeah, this is at the end of the year, right? So maximum price 96,000. That's sort of like basically December. It's sort of saying December, that's where it's going to be. Yeah. So in November, that is when we hit 100,000. And I think in December, we were at about 97, 96,000. We might have actually still been at 100,000 in December. But definitely in, I think it was like mid to late November, we hit $100,000 of price on Bitcoin. Now, let's say that this price prediction chart is correct, at least for the next few years. Well, that's saying at the end of this year, Bitcoin is going to be worth $145,000. So that's what I'm saying. If you start building your Bitcoin now, then at the end of this year, whatever you've built up in Bitcoin, that is going to be worth so much more. That is going to be worth so much more if this Bitcoin chart is correct. And it was correct last year. Now, if we look down here, so it's 2025. So in 6 years' time, or let's say, well, we'll round up a little. In 5 years' time, you can see the maximum price there, they're saying, is going to be $907,000. So that is basically, if you work on the 50% rule, which I always do, so if something's over 50%, I tend to round it up, that is $1 million. So in 5 years' time, so if you've spent 5 years using the programs I promote, or maybe you find some better programs, build up your Bitcoin or build up your coins, then you can exchange them for Bitcoin, like I say, in a free wallet like Faucet Pay that allows you to exchange your coins. You know, in 5 years' time, and if you've put that work in, that Bitcoin is going to be worth so much more. I mean, even right now, for those of you out there that have been maybe using my sites, using other sites, and have been building up your coins since I've basically been doing this channel, even if you've only earned a quarter of a Bitcoin, well, that's pretty much worth $20,000 to $25,000 now. You know, if we think that basically Bitcoin's around about 100,000, fluctuations up and down, you know, allowed, well, that's a quarter of a Bitcoin is 25 grand. And like I say, you know, all you got to do is put in a bit of work on a daily basis. You know, obviously I promote quite a good number of sites and mobile games and stuff like that can all earn you cryptocurrency for free. But I'm not suggesting you do them all. What I'm suggesting is test a few out, find a few that you enjoy, find some that you really like to use and that you think, yeah, I don't mind going in there for half an hour or whatever every day, and doing my tasks and clicking on various buttons and collecting my coins and stuff like that. You know, if you get two or three of those ones that you really like doing and you're prepared to put the work in, you will find those coins will build up pretty quickly. And like I say, with how Bitcoin is building, and especially now the fact that, because like I said, the speculative investors have essentially been weeded out, and the average person has essentially been pushed out because of how much Bitcoin is worth. That means these massive highs and especially these massive lows, which we really don't want, have essentially been, they're gone. They're essentially gone. And the other thing is as well, is the more or the higher price Bitcoin goes, the more companies online, and you never know, you might even see your corner shop starting to accept Bitcoin, because, and if that happens, it's then gonna start to be considered as a mainstream currency. Then that is going to reinforce Bitcoin even more, which then will push the price up even more. So like I say, right now is an absolutely brilliant time to be getting into this, to be building up your crypto for free, getting your Bitcoin in your wallet and start planning that future. That, you know, I mean, basically, you know, you could start looking at this, if you're prepared to put the work in, as a little nest egg for you in your latter years. Obviously, if we look at the chart, finally in 2050, which obviously that's 25 years away, I don't know if I'm going to be around for that, but you know, some of you younger people out there might well be, and I hope I still am, and I hope all of you guys out there watching my videos are. 2050, if we are to believe this chart, for, well, basically $5 million Bitcoin will be worth. Now, maybe next year or the end of this year, I will be looking to see if I can get an updated version of this prediction chart to see if it changes. But right now, these are the numbers I'm working to, and I believe, and this is why I'm bringing this video, I believe right now is the best time to be getting into crypto and really focusing on getting into Bitcoin. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I hope you found that interesting and informative. If you can, smash that like button. It really does support my channel, which then helps me make more content to help you. So take care, have a great rest of your week, and I'll speak to you soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.